Hello, today I am talking about the TicWatch Pro 3 GPS smartwatch and some of the features that are on here and some of the settings that maybe you can change and some things you might already know about, but there might be one or two new ones that you didn't realize, so hopefully you get something out of this video, and let's get right to it. So again, the watch faces I went over on another video, and I reviewed the watch on another video, so if you're interested in those, I'll link those at the end. So let me get right to it here. If the watch is off and you hit the top button, it just turns it on. If it's already on, then you're going to open up your app drawer. And these are all the apps that you have. There are a lot of Mobvoi apps in here. All the Tic apps are all Mobvoi. Like I said, that you do have to register for those. So one thing you may not realize with this top button, a real nice feature is if you want to keep it dim most of the time to save battery, but then when you need to see it or when you're outside, you need to have a good view, or it's real bright outside and you can't see the little fonts on here, just double click this and it gets super bright. Just kind of washing out the screen there. So that gets super bright for a few seconds, and then it will dim down and go back to your normal setting. But that's a real easy feature that makes life real easy for a lot of things. And then if you just tap and hold this, then it's going to bring up, oh sorry, yeah, you're going to get the power off and the restart button. So for the bottom button, if the watch is off, there is that LCD screen that's back there that you can see, and it does have a backlight when needed. But for now, like I said, if you just kind of move this, if you catch the light just right, you can see it clearly. If you don't catch it just right, then it could be washed out. But this is the off mode of the TicWatch Pro 3. And then if you hit the bottom button, it just turns it on. And then if you hit it twice, it goes to Google Pay. And if you don't have your NFC on, it will get to this screen that you have to turn on the NFC, and then it will go to the Google Pay app. And if you do, you could put a lock on the Google Pay that you'd have to set. Then the other thing is if you push and hold this button, you get these things. And the speaker drain is just if the watch got wet, and it makes a little tone to kind of clean out the speaker. You got the essential mode that you can put on here, the restart, the power off, and then you get the customized function button. So this is the function button. And if you do hit this once when the screen is on, you get to this screen. So if you hit this, right now it's set to agenda, but if you hit this again, you can get to any app that you want to change it to. And then this would be the shortcut that when you hit this button, when the screen is on, you hit it and it will go right to that shortcut. I usually put it to music, so if you have any music playing, you just click this and it will go to that, and then you can change the tracks or the volume right from your smartwatch, which is a nice feature. It makes it so you don't have to get your phone out at all. Another feature that is not always useful, but it might be useful if you're exercising and keeping track of things. If you just hold these two buttons together, it will take a screenshot. And then this will go to your Mobvoi app on your phone, and then you could see it and save it and do whatever you want with it. So that, like I said, if that's something that you're interested in, that's cool. And then you could also get it in from the settings menu, but it's a little deep in there, so that's a quick way to get to it. And of course, if you swipe down from the top, you got to get to the settings menu. This is the airplane mode. This is your brightness screen. This is your sound. That's your Google Pay. This is theater mode, and then this is do not disturb. So the theater mode is just, it shuts off the notifications, the alarms, and the watch face. The do not disturb just shuts off all the notifications, but the screen will still go on, so you can still see the clock. Depending on, again, what situation you're in. If you're in a meeting or something like that, you can pick which one you want to do. But if you do put it in the theater mode or the do not disturb mode, if you don't take that off, you would be missing all your notifications, and it doesn't remind you that it's in that mode. So just keep that in mind. If you turn it on at night and then you go through the whole day, you might not get any notifications. Then if you did get any notifications, you could set it so nothing happens, or you could have a little dot that shows up down here, and then you could just swipe up, and then you'll get all your notifications listed here, and then you can clear them if you want. And this is how you do your notifications from the Wear OS app. You just go here, and then silence it when you're wearing the phone, and then you could change your watch notifications, and all your notifications, yeah, there they go. They'll all be listed here, and then every single one you could turn on and off depending on what you want to do with it. And again, keep in mind, the more notifications you have on, it's constantly sending information to the watch, the quicker the battery would go. So if we go back to the watch here, and if you swipe to the left, you get the Google Assistant. And if you could set this so that you say the hot word and it will take you right to this, but then keep in mind the watch is always listening for that, so that also does drain the battery a little bit. But here is some things, and the voice response on this is actually very good. So you click on this and you could tell it to go text somebody, to call somebody, and set an alarm or reminder or any of those things, and it recognizes it very well and very quickly. The other thing is, if you do get a text from somebody, you could use the voice assistant, and instead of replying and typing things out, you can get some quick messages, or you could do the voice message and you can basically say anything you want and it will register it perfectly, and then you could hit send. And I found that to be a really easy feature to do, especially if you're typing out any kind of longer text. You don't want to do it on the watch, but the voice feature does work great. If you want to get to the tiles of the smartwatch, this is all the little quick settings that you can put in here that you can have quick access to. Now if you want to add any to, you just hold it and then you go here, you hit the add, and then these are the different ones that you could add to it. They're a little limited, but there's a few that you can put on there. And then you can scroll here, you could delete them by just swiping it out, and then to get back to where you were, you just hit it and there you go. Now this is the workout. This is the Google Fit workout. Those are some quick access ones. But then if you go here, let me just show you how many they have here. If you go to other workout, so there's a lot of different workouts that you can put in here, and you can click on, and then you could move some of the ones that you use much frequently. You can put it on the top. So that's a real good feature with Google Fit. And that's the calculator. This is the heart rate, and if you could do a manual measurement now, then you could also turn on 24-hour monitoring. Again, that will kill the battery a little bit more, but I haven't noticed that big of a difference with that. And then you could have a heart rate exercise alarm, so that if it goes too low or too high, it will kind of ring you and give you a notice that something's wrong. And then if you do the 24-hour, when you scroll down, you'll get all the data from the heart rate the last 24 hours, and you can see that right on the watch, which is a nice feature. The weather is there. Then this is the pulse ox. The SpO2 measurement. So if you hold still, it will read it through here. Let me see if I can get through that just to show you. So again, you would have the records down here, and it would again record them for the week, and you can go through some of the data that's there. And then if you wanted to turn this on for 24 hours, again, you just need to hit this and turn it on. And that's that. If you want to do the stress monitoring, then the heart rate and the SpO2 need to be on, and if you want to do continuous stress monitoring, then these need to be on the 24-hour reading for you to get the information from it. And if you wanted to do the sleep tracking, same thing. It will remind you that you need to turn those on to 24 hours monitoring to get any information. So I showed you the tiles on the watch, but there's also the way you can change the tiles on the phone, which might even be a little easier. They're all right here, and you could add them. Same ones, nothing different there, but they're just easier to see. And then if you wanted to move these, all you need to do is hold the button here, and then you can kind of do this, where you couldn't do that on the smartwatch. So a couple other things I just wanted to show you here. If you click this button, the top button when it's on, again, you get into the Mobvoi Launcher. So these are all the apps that you have here. And if you wanted to move these around a little bit, all you need to do is hold one. Then they start shaking like this, and then you can kind of just do what you want with it. And it would be very tough to go from top to bottom because there's a lot of apps here. But then once you're done, then you just double click that, and that will just shut off, and then that's how you move them. Now if you want to get out of the Mobvoi Launcher, you go here, and we just go into personalization. And a couple of these things I covered in another video, but there's a little more information, a little more in depth here, so hopefully you found some of this interesting. But we go here, and now when you click on it, we get this listing of your apps. And you have them here, just kind of scrolling up and down. And you can see here the recents go right on the top, and then these ones with the stars are your favorites. And then everything else is just in alphabetical order. And then obviously there's a lot to scroll with here. So if there's some that you use a lot, you can make them your favorite. So you just hold it, and then that goes back, it goes up to the top, and it's up there. And so it's much easier to get to. And and you can't move these up and down though, so it's just your favorites all the way to the top. You could either have the apps laid out this way, or you could have them with the Mobvoi Launcher. It's kind of just up to you. There's just a couple of apps I'll go through with you here quickly. You can get some of these to the tiles on the right, but this is the Tick Pulse. That is for your heart rate. And if you go here, let me get to the Tick apps. So Tick Breathe is just a relaxation breathing techniques. The Tick Care is if you're challenged with other people and you're competing with your exercise stuff. So this is Tick Exercise. And again, got a lot of features that you can go through, and if you hit this, I mean, you could see just everything that they had. There's, I don't know, dozens and dozens and dozens of different exercises that you can do with here. So that is with Tick Exercise. Again, you get the Google Fit that also has a lot. So it's just your preference which one you like more. Tick Health we covered before. That's just this. And then you get, if you click on it, then you could slide down here and you can see all, you know, a little more of the data of what you did. And then Tick Here, and this is kind of just a unique app. So this measures the noise in your environment. You can't set this for a continuous measurement, but you can set it where you do the manual reading on it. And then this gives you the decibels of your work environment if you want to go complain to your boss or something. I think it's a little overly sensitive, but you know, you could play around with it and see what you think. So also there's Essential Mode. Let me get to that one. So that's here, so you could just turn it on, obviously, but then you could have it switched to, depending on your battery life. So if you're using your watch and you don't want it to go dead, you can click whatever battery level you want it to click on, or just, you know, not use it at all. But when it clicks to the Essential Mode, then it just has that LCD screen and it kicks off. It does keep track of your steps and your heart rate, but it does kick off any notifications. So that's up to you how useful you think it is, but that will definitely extend your battery, you know, maybe 10, 20 days, depending on when you click on it or have it engage. Then you could also set the schedule, which is a real nice feature. So if you're not using your notifications much or you don't feel like you need them, then you could turn it on and then turn it off. And if you have even a couple hours every day that you're using the Essential Mode, that will save your battery quite a bit. Then when you have the LCD screen on, you could have it tilt to wake up, and you get that little light blue screen, just a backlight, so you could see it in the dark. Or you could just not have that go on if you don't want it to go on at night or something like that. And I just want to show you, we do have the Play Store app on here. So you could actually, you know, in previous watches, this didn't really work that well, but this works very good. I downloaded some apps with no problem. You could download them through your phone, or you could download them right to your watch. And again, it gives you a list of the apps that are on your phone that you might want to download. It gives you some, you know, featured apps, recommended, you know, things like that, and you could pick which category you want to get into, or you could just go ahead and search and find the exact app that you need. So I'll just show you a couple more settings here. This is the display. You could change the watch face here. Instead of pushing and holding and then swiping to pick your watch face, you could just click it there. Then you could adjust the brightness, which you could have it, you know, obviously this is a couple of different you know, levels that you could do here. I don't want to wash it out. And then you could also do it on the auto. So there's like 5 settings on the brightness if you want to do it manually, but then if you switch to auto, you get these 3 bars, and then this basically just tells it how aggressive to be and how bright or dim to get. So I think the auto brightness works very good on this watch. I haven't had any issues. I put it on auto and to be aggressive, and it gets pretty dim, and actually it probably doesn't get dim enough sometimes, but it's very bright and everything is very legible even outside. I haven't had any issues where I needed to change it, so that's just a nice feature. Then the other things you might want to change on the display, since that's kind of the thing you're looking at. If we go here, you could lock it so if you touch it, it doesn't wake up the screen. This is the always on screen, and then you could do the screen time. So again, the longer you have it, the more it might kill the battery, but you know, from 10 to 15 seconds, I don't think it's going to make a big difference. In 5 seconds, I never get it enough time to see all the information I'm looking at. That's just some stuff you want to play around with. And if you go to apps here, you could set, let me just say there's only one feature here, do not disturb when it's not on your wrist. So if you take off your watch and you know, you put it down somewhere and then you've got your phone in another room or something like that and you get a notification on your watch, it will show up on your phone. I'm sorry, if you get a notification on your phone, it will show up on your watch even though you're not wearing it. And then anyone who's in the area will be able to hear it go off and then be able to see what the message is. So if you're doing anything you're not supposed to, then you would probably want to click that to off and do not disturb. Then we got some gestures here. If you click on this, and we just, like I said, there's a lot of features to go through here, but there's only a couple that I wanted to show you. So we go ahead to gestures, and this is the tilt to wake, so it turns on, and then this is the touch to wake. So the touch to wake, so you hit the screen and turn it on, and then the tilt to wake is when you flip it like this and it will turn on. So whichever one you want to do, or both, that's up to you. If you find that it's turning on too often or too frequently, you could shut that feature off and then just have it so you touch the button and the screen comes on. Again, whatever is more convenient for you. Connectivity, this is over here. And this is where you get all the radios. You got the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, the NFC, all these things. Location you probably want if you're keeping track of anything, even though it would kill the battery a little bit, but you did buy a smartwatch. The airplane mode will kill everything if you don't need to be disturbed by anything or you're trying to save your battery. NFC is what you would use only if you're paying for something, if you're using Google Pay, so if you're not, you can disengage it. Wi-Fi, I don't have this on, but if you could put this on if you want to download apps directly to the watch, but I found the Bluetooth worked just fine, so there was no issue there. And Bluetooth obviously you need on if you want to have any connection to your phone and you want to use any features at all. And then personalization right in here. Again, you got the this is the smart reply. This is where you get the text. It will give you some options of what to do, just like on the Google Messenger app. It does the same thing. This is the Mobvoi Launcher there, the do not disturb. This is how you can take a screenshot. And I think that was all that was in here. Oh, and you can also customize the hardware buttons. That's this thing here. So you can either do it by hitting this and holding it to bring up this setting, or you could just find it there. And then if you back out here, stored in the system, there's really nothing to talk about there. Okay, so I just wanted to show you also on the Mobvoi app. If you click on here, this is all the data that you had while you're exercising and sleep, and if you click on it, it will bring your data up for the day, the week, the month, whatever you need to. Then these little tiles here, we got the SpO2, the heart rate, the noise that we just measured, the stress. This is all the things that you could put on there, and then you could manage these tiles. You could either take some of them off or add some. Some of these are just for different watches, basically, that is included on the app. But then you can manage those things a little bit. And then if you click on the watch face center here, it brings up all your watches for the Mobvoi app. Hopefully that was helpful for everybody, and if there's any comments that something I missed or something I got wrong, please put it down there in the bottom. And if you made it this far, you might as well subscribe and like it, and I will put some other videos up. Thank you.